Hey, welcome back to the CommonGround North Dakota Podcast. I'm Heather.
And I'm Jen.
I've been a chef for 10 years.
And I'm a registered dietitian. We've all heard the saying, farm to table. But what if the conversation was table to farm?
Join Jen and I as we sit down with ag experts to dig in and find out more about North Dakota agriculture. All right, welcome back to CommonGround North Dakota.
I'm Jen.
I'm Heather.
So last time we had talked with Cassie from Black Leg Ranch.
Yes, and I keep thinking about her.
I know.
And the bison.
Yes, the bison. And then we talked about like the nutrition value of like organ meats. Do you remember that?
I know. I want some organ meat in my bison.
I know. And
I want to work it in there.
Right? So I've done that, Heather.
Okay.
I've done that with the Thanksgiving stuffing. You know, you get the bird and then they're like, hey, there's the organ meats, and I actually like grind it up and I put it in the stuffing, but I don't tell anybody.
Oh, but I bet it's delicious and they don't even know.
It is. It's like the secret ingredient, and they're like, this is so good, and I'm like, a little suspicious, but you know, I'm sure it's the same with like with like bison or even like I know when I'm a hunter too, so like my uncle would always want the deer heart after I'd harvested my deer. And
what would he do with it?
Boil it.
Just
and like
boil
eat it. Yeah.
Okay, so I need to kind of revisit organs, and I'll figure out some recipes for those.
Yep.
Like deer heart tacos or...
Oh, well, right. I feel like it... Or liver. You know, liver, again, is high in vitamin A, so you got to be careful with it. Don't eat it all the time because it's a fat-soluble vitamin.
Hopefully no one's listening to this in the morning. I feel like it might be
we might turn stomachs.
For them, but...
So speaking of like, you know, events and gatherings, we have some cool guests today.
I'm really excited.
So we have Carter and Lavy.
Welcome.
And they're here to talk about an event they do out in Dickinson. So welcome.
Thanks for joining us. And
thanks for having us.
And we can see very clearly that you're joining us virtually because, Lavy, your background, I want to run through that field right now. It is gorgeous. It looks fake.
Yeah. No, it's real life.
It's got to be real. Or do you have like a wind machine in front of you and a green screen?
Blowing my hair about.
It's so beautiful. Oh. It's a postcard.
It is a postcard.
What do we have in the background, Lavy? What is it?
There's some grass right next to me, and then the wheat field is back behind me under that bright blue sky.
Just
lovely.
Gorgeous.
And where are you joining us from?
I am in southwest North Dakota. I'm between Belfield and Amadon, west of Dickinson on 94 and south.
Awesome.
Lovely.
And Carter, where are you today?
I'm joining you from the comfortable log cabin of the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm the executive director here. I've been in this role since May of 2021.
Okay, and that log cabin is pretty cool too.
Yes, for sure.
It really is. You bet.
That's awesome.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into your roles.
Yeah,
sure. So Lavy Steiner, originally from Bigger, Saskatchewan, Canada. I moved down to the United States in 2001 to attend university at Dickinson State. I was a rodeo athlete for them. And so after graduating from Dickinson State, I found a job in genetics, worked on a genetics company doing embryo transfers and artificial insemination. From there, transferred kind of roles into more of the finance and insurance departments. I now am an owner of Commodity Insurance. I provide crop, livestock, and hail insurance to all of our producers here, giving them that support for those unlikely events where these beautiful crops behind me aren't so beneficial and they don't have a crop to go harvest. So I'm involved in the ag department, the ag chamber. I've been with them, I think, for 10 years, served as the chair on that department for many years. We've hosted many great events, but we're here today to talk about our one and upcoming Banquet in a Field, Western style, we call it. And ideally, it looks just like the background that I'm sitting in today. So it's a really, really neat event, and I can't wait to share some of the information with you guys.
That's great. How about you, Carter? Talk about your background.
Sure. I'm a Dickinson, North Dakota native. I'm a 2002 graduate of Dickinson High School. I then went to North Dakota State, Gold Bison. I got a social science education degree and came back to the area. I was a teacher, coach, administrator at Dickinson Trinity High School for 12 years. That included time in the principal's office. I was the high school principal at age 26.
Wow, that's impressive.
Was pretty young.
Yeah.
After three up and down years in the principal's office, I went back to the classroom. I at one point took on athletic director duties. I was at one point our varsity girls basketball coach for 5 years. I'm married with 3 children. In the 20 teens, I was a chamber board member.
Okay.
So that's how I became familiar with the work of the chamber. After 12 good years at Trinity, I had worn many hats at a small school. It was time for something new.
Yeah.
There ended up being an opening, a need for an executive director here, and I have come on board on 2021. I brought, I think, my knowledge of the community at event planning and scheduling and working with people of all stripes and from every sector of the economy. And it's been 2.5 good years here at the chamber.
That's amazing. And that's your connection with Lavy, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Lavy, as chair of the Ag Committee, has everyone as much as we can on the same page, and did a great job and helped us bring a banquet in the field to the Dickinson area chamber. And Lavy can tell us more about that, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that connection. And Lavy, you mentioned this event. Talk about like the history behind it. Where did it start? How long has it been going on?
Yeah. So our inaugural event was in 2018. And we have to give credit in large part to CommonGround and their event that they hosted out in Fargo. It was the inspiration behind starting this type of event in Dickinson. So as the Ag Committee, our main goals, in why we do this and why we volunteer is to provide not only our producers with the valuable tools they need to continue farming and ranching as things change and provide an education component to them, but also to educate those that are not involved in the agriculture sector. More importantly for this event, that is our main goal.
Okay.
And so we did a few other events in the past that we were just kind of losing a little bit of participation from our producers. They'd kind of run their course. And so we thought, we need to really revamp what we're doing here and what we're trying to accomplish. And so we let go of a couple events that we had been doing. And one of the committee members brought this event to our attention and said, this is something they're doing out in Fargo. And it's really a hit and we should look into it.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we had a couple of our committee members come out to your event in Fargo and check it out and look to see how it was all done, and found out it was going to be a heck of a lot of work, but we were up for the challenge. And so, in 2018, we hosted our first event. I think we had about 90 people. Our goal was 150.
Okay.
So we were off a little bit. We were struggling a little bit in the invite department and trying to get people interested in coming to it, really not knowing maybe what it was all about.
Sure. First year is hard for them to understand exactly what the event is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, for us as a committee, we were like, this is awesome. It was great. We had fantastic speakers. The first year was hosted out at Greg's and Stacy Kessel's south of Belfield.
Okay.
And they actually produce barley on their farm, which is then malted through a company they are part owners in, and then produced at one of the local breweries in Dickinson.
Wow.
Cool.
And so it was awesome because the field of barley that grew in their yard was in turn being drank at the event.
Oh, that's great.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome to talk about that,
full circle
farm to table concept, right? And that we have such a unique environment in North Dakota to be able to highlight that at events. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really cool. And I think it didn't take long. We did our video and posted a little bit of after marketing. And by the next year, our numbers had gone up. And it didn't take long for word to get around. And this year we are already full with a waiting list.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
So it's awesome. But, inspiration coming directly from those trying to help educate our consumers about what these products are and where they come from. Mm-hmm. And so, we based it off the Common Ground event. And we've put our little twists to it, kind of made it our own. But really a really fun event. And it's so awesome to see people wanting to come and learn and be a part of something that, they get to enjoy. Right. But also learn a little bit while they're there.
Well, and there's nothing better than sitting at a table together,
right,
and being able to have those conversations and really connect. I love that part of it too.
And Carter, I bet that's like your education background is like, yes, this is perfect. And that's where you get excited, I would assume, right?
Oh, totally. For what you talked about, Lavy said they had 90 at the first event and we're hoping for 150. We have the opposite problem now where we have more people wanting into the event than what we think we can accommodate. Lavy called it a waiting list. We're going to accommodate as many as we can, but we went north of 150. We are going to land in the neighborhood of 175 plus right now. And so it is an event planning challenge, but a great one to have. One of my roles is to look to help the Ag Committee invite new people to this event each year. So if we have new elected leaders in the area, they get on the invitation list. If we have 2 new chamber member businesses, they go on the list.
Okay.
We invited the 4 winners of the Chamber Ag Committee's quarterly photo contest. Okay, so spring, summer, fall, and winter, we asked for the region to send us their best photos capturing the beauty of our area.
Cool.
A winner is chosen by the committee. We invite each of those winners to the event. It's a way to acknowledge them and to recognize their work. But bottom line, we invite about 350 to get a response of 150 plus. And this event in 2023 shapes up to be bigger and better than ever.
Wow. So I was wondering, Carter, when you spoke earlier about how you were building out these committees and bringing in younger growers, younger generations, and it sounds like you don't just wait for them to come, that you're actively pursuing these people. Is that something you just started these past couple of years? Is that why you think the chamber has grown so much?
The chamber is doing well. I think we put on 5 different committees, put on more than 30 community events a year that bring people together. Our mission is to connect business and community. So we are constantly talking to folks and trying to bring the right people on board. I think where the Ag Committee shines at this event in particular is these people who are part of our committee, they are volunteers. They show up, they do the work wherever they are needed. And the what's in it for me question is either secondary or it does not even get asked at all. Wow. These people are truly in it for the community, for the region, for an ag educational event, and to put on a great event with other people getting to be a VIP guest at no cost to attend. And I say no cost because we have 20 local ag major sponsors, plus the statewide groups like CommonGround, who are helping support this event and everything we do all year long.
That's awesome. I just love that. Like when I get asked about North Dakota and like, why do you live in North Dakota? It all comes back down to the people, right? And it's the people, and we come together when we need to. And when it's really a passion area for us, that's how I feel about it. And I'm sure it sounds like you both as well. So talk about, Lavy, how do you pick like the location? Like, is it in a different spot all the time, or do you choose to highlight a different area?
Yeah, so we're on a 2-year rolling schedule.
Okay.
And so, we've been at Riddle Farms was last year. I mentioned Greg and Stacy Kessel the years before. At the Ben Kuhn family farm this year.
Okay.
And so, we're on a 2-year rolling schedule. So it's kind of new and fresh. Gives us a little challenge every year to figure out the logistics of the event, but we're up for that just to kind of give it a different showcase. We try to invite different guests every year.
Okay.
There is some crossover, but generally, if you've been to the event once, you're not going to get a repeat invite because we wanted as many people there as we can to experience the event and the ambiance and the education behind it. So we're rolling that guest list every year, although we do change location. Our representatives that are there to represent each commodity get to see a new venue. But generally, those who are attending haven't been to the one the year before, but we do roll it. And we've been so lucky to have these gracious hosts allow us to set up in their yards, in their fields, use their facilities. It's a great undertaking for them to allow 160 plus people.
Right. I can't imagine logistically.
It's like a big crazy wedding, or
because I'm in food and I've done dinners for 150 people, but never in a field. I can't imagine that.
Quantity foods.
Maybe to give you a little, let's look back by year. The 2022 event, the hour by hour forecast had it being very windy in the daytime hours on the day of the event. Then, as it often does in North Dakota, calming down for a nice, beautiful North Dakota evening. So I got out to the location. It's like, we're going to make a weather call one way or another here. And it's 11 a.m. last year. I get out to Riddle Farms. The Ag Committee had already made the call for me that we're having this event.
You're doing it.
All the tables next to the grain bins, the tree row, everything we had to shelter from the wind. And our caterer, who was brand new to her job at the time, was very nervous and was waiting for us to cancel the event. But we went forward, and by about 5 o'clock, it was pretty clear we're going to get that great North Dakota evening. Just enough breeze to maybe keep the flies away a little bit. And sure enough, the Ag Committee made the right call. The 2022 event was awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Cool. Yeah, if you don't like the North Dakota weather, what do we say? Just wait a couple hours?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
We just make it a go.
It's hard, especially for outdoor events.
Right.
I mean, I've been thinking about the weather piece this whole time, but there's nothing you can do about it, right? You just have to wait it out and see what it brings.
So let's talk about, you mentioned a few people that you try to get at your event. Who's the target audience for this? Who would you love to have come to this event?
So that on our invite list, the first set of group of people we're looking for are educators.
Okay.
And have them bring that back to the classroom. 20 or 30 kids. We maybe make more ground there than anywhere. So that's our first group that we want to try to have at our event. We're looking for teachers. We're looking for personnel within the school, nutritionists, people who work in the kitchen at the schools, maybe they have a weigh in on the nutrition value that these kids are receiving during their lunch. And so that's our main goal, our main objective. But really the target audience is anybody who goes to the grocery store and buys their food and doesn't know where it comes from.
Right.
What are these cuts of meat that I'm buying and why? Like, why is this ribeye so much more than the sirloin? Like, what's the difference? And what am I paying for? And where does this come from? And all that kind of thing. So, generally I say, it's our educators, but really it's everybody who is not directly involved in ag and doesn't know. And it's not because, they're not educated people. It's that the gap in what they're learning and how this food comes out of this field behind me and ends up in a loaf of bread on the grocery store shelf.
Right.
And, we really are just, our target is just anybody who needs to know or should know.
Right.
Yeah.
Any consumer, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Form decisions about what they're purchasing and why.
Right. It's the train the trainer kind of method, which I love because then it spreads the education that you're providing at the event it has a way wider reach, as we say in public health.
I love the idea of this event, and I could see it all over North Dakota. What advice would you give to communities that wanted to start something like this?
Well, first and foremost, you need to go to one.
Okay.
Experience it yourself. I think that was the best thing that we did. And I wasn't able to attend, but another committee member went, and she brought back so much information by being able to go to somebody else's. I know there's at least 3 others in the state right now since we started ours. And,
cool.
And since you guys had done yours. So it is starting to grow, and people are starting to see, how awesome this can be. And so I would say first and foremost, get your local producers involved. Mm-hmm. They're the people out there growing this product and this food for our nation. They are the most educated people. Have them there to talk to the people who are attending. Mm-hmm. They provide such great education, just in general conversation.
Right.
And then I guess for us, our biggest challenge was that invite list for a few years. Mm-hmm. You just got to work real hard on getting people to attend, and then it's a snowball. And, for that, then you get a wait list. So, that would be my three biggest takeaways from what we've learned over the years.
Great advice.
And you partner, you said, with a number of different other groups to bring in. Yeah. So I was talking to Nicole with the Beef Commission. That was my first call this morning. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing a podcast. And I'm talking to, Lavy and Carter. And she's like, oh, is that, the banquet in the field? I'm like, well, yeah. Like, that's how, North Dakota's so small. We're all working together, which I think is just cool. Like, it's really cool that there's so many different connections in North Dakota with these events. And
Nicole was a representative for beef last event, and she will be again. A great advocate for beef for North Dakota.
Yeah.
We have, honestly, it takes so many people, and we are so fortunate to have so many that are willing to help us and come and support. And our major sponsors of local business in Dickinson is phenomenal. We don't charge a dime for people to come to this event, and the plate cost is excruciatingly high.
Wait, I didn't realize it's free. Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You bet. And year by year, we will look at that model. But economics teacher would say there's no such thing as a free lunch.
No, true.
It is
You've got to have great sponsors.
Yes, we have 20 local sponsors, many awesome. Commodity groups, and others statewide who will help us break even or a little better on this event year by year.
That's great.
And with that, our commodity groups, not only are they sponsoring, but if they aren't providing a representative at the event, they have somebody local or a county rep who is there. So it's just phenomenal to have that kind of support from our North Dakota producers and our groups that are willing to also help us out and keep this going year after year, because it is a big event. So
what a great way though to bring the community together and get all these like minds together and spread the word.
So I wonder if we should do our challenge. Did we talk to you about this at all? Our host halftime?
I know a little bit about this, but go ahead.
Carter, I'm nervous. Do you have some hard questions for us?
Oh,
wait a second.
I think so.
Okay. Oh boy.
Now,
okay.
Am I supposed to be testing your listening skills, or can I bring in trivia that maybe we
you just go with it. There's no rules.
Whatever.
You do you. It's
all
fine.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna have you ask us 3 questions,
and
bet. Heather and I will do our best to answer correctly.
Who's ever closest, right? Or who's ever answered you like the best.
We get this lovely corn trophy. Heather and I tied last time, and I realized that I put her name wrong on here. We're just gonna erase.
We're a little competitive, so
yeah, we are. So whenever you're ready, Carter,
let's hear it.
Or Lavy, give us the first.
Lavy will be the judge on your answers to question number 1, because in my mind there's a range here. But how many different commodity groups are represented on the menu at our banquet in a field Western style?
Can I ask how many courses there are?
Is that cheating?
We have an appetizer social and then a plated dinner after that. Everyone is well fed.
Okay. I'm gonna say 12.
15.
Cool.
13.
Ooh, I feel like Heather got that. You were the closest. I don't like to give up easily, but 13?
Fine. That's impressive.
There are more commodity groups in North Dakota, but we tried to stay focused on what we raise here in Southwest North Dakota.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We're probably closer to the accurate number if we counted all of our groups, but we represent 13 because we're trying to kind of stay in our local area, what we grow in our fields.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now get this. I didn't know the answer to my own question, but I knew it was between 12 and 15.
So you had a good guess too. You had a good guess too.
Oh, that's awesome, Carter. Okay, question 2.
Second question. This is as of 2019, and I found it in an email that Lavy typed up and wrote to the chamber. But the question is, the amount of beef produced in North Dakota could make how many million hamburgers?
Is it, you said a year?
A year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year. How many what now?
How many million hamburgers could be made by the amount of beef produced in North Dakota in a year as of 2019?
Okay, I mean, I have no idea.
I'm just trying to think of like how many hamburgers one cow makes. 4 million.
I put 3.
Okay. 113
million.
113 million.
Whoa, that's a lot of hamburgers.
Okay, so
we were a little off.
A little bit off.
McDonald's serves billions and billions, right? Well, we get them, over 100 million a year.
100 million. That blows my mind right now. Okay. I mean,
Carter and I didn't even practice this, so I hope
Right. Gosh, I want you to start emailing me, Lavy.
Yeah, me too. Those fun facts.
Yeah, I like these facts.
Fun facts on the weekly.
Yep. Fun facts by Lavy. I mean, we come up with business ideas during this podcast too. Okay, Carter.
We'll just do this one for fun because, I've won, but let's just do the third one for fun.
It's the amount of canola oil produced in North Dakota each year could fill our state capitol building how many times over?
That's going to be a lot. And who came up with this answer?
Lavy.
Oh, again, fun fact.
I found this somewhere.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Well, it's got to be a lot, right? So that state capitol building is pretty big.
It's huge. How many stories is it?
Okay, I'm going to say 125.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What did you say, Jen?
10.
Okay. We have a 19-story state capitol that could be filled 19 times over by canola oil.
You got it. Jen got it.
There you go.
But that's still a lot of canola oil.
That's a lot of canola oil.
That is and fun fact about canola oil, as your registered dietitian representative, it is a heart-healthy fat. And I use it all the time in my cooking because it has a higher smoke point than olive oil.
It's good for sauteing, stir fry.
Yes, it is. And it's readily available in the grocery store. And everyone thinks I got to have olive oil. But canola oil is actually very heart healthy. So I use it a lot. So hats off to North Dakota canola producers.
Well, good. Cool. Thanks for all that knowledge. We learned a lot in that host
Thanks
halftime.
for letting me be a teacher again for 5 minutes.
Anytime, Carter. I would fit the demographic, Heather and I, of the people that you're trying to reach. So I appreciate learning about this.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Sure.
Yeah, because we're educators in our own right. Heather with the chef background and me with my dietitian background. And it's just fun to get to connect with others across North Dakota and just highlight what wonderful work we're all doing. So we so appreciate you taking the time to come on and visit with us and educate those listeners who are curious about North Dakota and all the wonderful things that we do together.
And before you go, we do have one last question for each of you. We want to know, what is your favorite part about being involved in North Dakota agriculture?
Well, I think you already answered mine. It's the people. I get to work with farmers and ranchers every day. There's nobody more salt of the earth than a farmer or a rancher. So I enjoy being able to work with those guys and I learn from them also. So it's fantastic to be able to be a part of that sector.
That's awesome. How about you, Carter?
The people, the weather-related challenges, the teacher appreciation element, of course, that tugs at my heartstrings. But you think about how busy those educators are, say, Labor Day through Memorial Day. And I know they're busy in the summer months as well, but you get to mid-July, it's their one opportunity to take an evening and have a VIP event, a free event to attend that our ag committee puts on.
That's wonderful.
Yes. That's such a good gift to the educators too.
It is.
They deserve it more than anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Great answers. We couldn't agree more.
Amazing.
And thank you for joining us. We need to get ourselves to that field though, Jen, at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I think we need
We're coming for you, Lavy.
Another field trip. I mean, we have the state kind of mapped out on who we want to visit now. So like we might need like a month.
Yeah, we need a Winnebago and a month off work.
Yeah. We'll take you for the Little Missouri grasslands. It's over 1 million acres. It's one of the largest national grasslands in the country.
Oh, amazing.
1 million? Ooh,
fun facts by Lavy. Well, thank you.
Regardless of our head count for our event, know that we will make room for 2 more for you too.
That's
anytime.
So kind.
We appreciate your support of our event, and thanks for a fun conversation today as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it so much.
And have a beautiful North Dakota day.
Yes.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was so heartwarming.
I love
them.
I love the educator stance. You know, that really tugs at my heart as well, like Carter said. And just like the involvement and how many people that it takes to put on an event and how much they love it and all the volunteers that it takes. And they never ask the question on like, well, what's in it for me?
No, because it's that connection once again that we keep coming back to.
It is, and the passion behind it, right? And like how they're just trying to share the word about where their food comes from, and that's really what we're trying to do too, don't you think?
Right. And there's no better way to do it than serve the food where it's from.
Absolutely.
And I love the idea of this spreading throughout North Dakota.
Yes.
Right? We've got these beautiful fields everywhere. Let's get some tables out there and have some dinners.
Absolutely. I mean, that's like speaking our love language, I feel like, food and camaraderie across the table. That's why we have a table here. We talk over the table, right? And we gather around the table. So awesome.
That was
awesome
great
stuff. So next up, I think we're talking to Scott.
He is a legend.
On soybeans. The soybean king up next.
So join us next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Watch us or listen wherever you listen to your podcasts. And have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to the CommonGround North Dakota Podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Most importantly, send us your questions about North Dakota agriculture by visiting our website. You might win a prize. We'll see you in the next episode of the CommonGround North Dakota Podcast.